Trying to change society is like tossing a pebble into a raging river. The mainstream just continues as it always has, in a stubborn, constant flow. Subtle changes occur to the mainstream over time. The water levels go up and down, the banks erode, the rock bed is ground up. It is input from outside forces, such as rain and rocks, that causes changes to the river's power and path, just as it is input from outsiders, the idealists and innovators, who fight against the pull of the mainstream, who see ways of fixing problems that others in the mainstream flow with, as the current. But pebble by pebble, habit by habit, the course of the river is altered slightly, whether onto a path that is going to flood a village or aid it. Now, we flow in a river that is dangerously close to bursting its banks and flooding the village to which it is supposed to aid. The rim of the mainstream is splashing over the boundary of the riverbank, displacing the more vulnerable members of the village. This is because the river's strength and height are beyond anything the riverbed has had to support before. The fast-paced advancement in consumer culture endorsed by the mainstream is about to max out. With more water droplets flowing in the mainstream with every passing day, the threat to the village is more immediate. Now, unfortunately, small pebbles of change tossed into this powerful force is not going to alter the way the river flows. No outside inputs can move a mass of this many in the short period of time we have before we overflow. There's just too much water, too much speed, too many humans stuck in their daily deed of taking much more than they actually need. Now, the only hope is that a great change can occur within the mainstream itself. The current and content of the mainstream consumerism must slow and lessen to lower water levels and reduce the speed. We must build up the banks around the river with universal compassion to protect the village's inhabitants. We must make a personal promise to ensure that we will sustain the rate of our flow in order to aid the village in future generations. Now is not the time to be stubborn and set in our current flow. We must be flexible and flowing like water is, like the water within the mainstream. We must come together as a great force with all the river's inhabitants to change the way we race along on our path. Once we've slowed down, we will have the time to drift and appreciate the scenery that we braid through. Now, let's drop our ignorance and pick up pebbles, rocks, and boulders of solution to change the course of our stream, to save us from ourselves. Let us hydrate, not flood, this village that is our earth.
Let's make green mainstream.